Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate y'all being here. We try and come here every Friday as best as we possibly can to try and answer your media ministry questions. I don't know everything, folks, but hopefully the little bit of information I do know will make your journey a little bit easier. I'm looking off screen to try and get a bunch of stuff that I didn't have prepared last minute. But again, thank you so much for being here. I see a bunch of y'all in the chat. Again, I really appreciate all that stuff and y'all being here with me. So before we get started, folks, know that if I don't get a chance to answer your questions, you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond back to you. Also, if you are not a part of the Facebook group, folks, I highly recommend that you join that. Go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and you are in like Flynn. We have our bi-weekly roundtable coming up this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you've never been a part of that, highly recommend you come a part of that. Now, again, y'all should know, if y'all have known me for any part of time, I'm not a sports person. So if this time conflicts with your sporting events and stuff like that, please let me know. I mean, I'm not going to change the time. I am looking at trying to do some other stuff, different days. We have rotated that a couple of times. And I think not this coming bi-weekly, we are going to do another one. And just let you know, we are not going to have one on the 24th of this month. So we have one coming up Sunday on the 10th. We're not going to have, another one on the 24th. Going to take some time off of that one. What else, folks? We are at, and that was the slide I was trying to get prepared that is not coming up for me. We are at 65,694 subscribers, folks, and excited about that. We are still the best of our abilities trying to do a giveaway to try and help out with that. And where's my countdown? Oh, well, we're trying to do that. If you haven't entered the giveaway, a link is down below, but you can always go to the link. And the goal was, until we hit 250,000 subscribers, we'd be giving away 2 $1,000 live streaming bundles, what I had a video about, and a $2,000 bundle. We rotate, so next coming up is 2 $1,000. This is a PTZ camera, a mini PC, and kind of the setup for like one live streaming stuff. Link is down below, but this is also the link as well too. If you've already entered into it, you're already in. If you are a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member, I enter your name in twice as a way of saying thank you. We also had shout out, because it literally just happened right before the live stream. RK Benchmaker signed up as a Patreon supporter at the e-missionary level. So again, I appreciate that. What else am I forgetting? Is there anything else? I think I am forgetting something. Let's do that. All right. So just know, folks, and yeah, that's what I do need to call out. We have, I don't take sponsorships. I really haven't been offered any sponsorships on this channel. So from my business that I run outside of this, doing installs for churches and, Patreon supporters, YouTube members, this is what help funds everything that we do here. So one other thing, if you want to support the other things that we do, what button is that? That's this one. You could also go to emissionarygear.com. So this is it. We have some new stuff. And Brandon, we have the media ministry shirt that we just got that in. We're going to be doing some other stuff as well, too. So that's just a play on some stuff that we talked about in one of our roundtables. So that is available at emissionarygear.com. Also, folks, want to give a moment to shout out your media team. We do a lot of stuff, and honestly, a lot of times we're underappreciated for what we do. So let me use this platform to give y'all's media ministry a shout out. Email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Make the subject my media team. Send me a picture of your team, and then we can shout them out. Tell me what state, country, your ministry's name, and all that other stuff, so I can shout out your media ministry team. I think that is about it. We're going to be doing a bunch of other, going back to the basic stuff. Like I said, I haven't really had a chance to do stuff. My daughter had like a 5-day weekend because of election day and all this other stuff. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I literally didn't do anything. So that's a first for me. But we got a lot of stuff that is coming up. I am going to be back at TCF next week. Because they decided to forego the projectors that we did a while ago, and they have a 11.5 foot by 6.5 foot tall digital wall that I have 3 days to install. So I'm gonna be in Ashburn Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I put a shout out on the Facebook group. If anybody wants to join me and learn some details about the back end and stuff like that, you're more than welcome. Just DM me on or email me at info@ajhomes.com or on Facebook, something like that. Because I need to let people know if I'm bringing any other people or they're gonna show up. I mean, I have access to get into the church. We got that. I also have 2 consultations on Tuesday. We're gonna be near South Boston, Virginia, on Tuesday, and then I gotta head back somewhere else, Petersburg, in the afternoon on Tuesday. We have 2 projects coming up. We got one in Oxford, North Carolina. We got another one in Washington, North Carolina. We have the big project in Elgin, Illinois that is coming up. Still waiting on that stuff to come in so we can get everybody up and running and moving and stuff like that. I think that's about it, and I need to take some time off. No, if any of you don't know, normally around December, because my daughter's birthday is around that time, the last 3 weeks, pretty much 3 weeks of December, I shut down. I still do videos. I just don't do any projects or nothing like that. So I have 1 week in December, and then it's planning for next year. But we got a lot of stuff going on, but enough of me blabbing. Let's go ahead and shout out some people who are here on the live. Let's see. Like I said, RK Benchmaker, thank you for being a Patreon supporter. And good morning from Texas. Frank, good morning. Philip Paul, hello, hello. Keith, hello. Darius, good morning to you. Francisco, hello, hello. Tell the little ones I said hello. Anthony, good morning to you. Dwayne Rich from the UK, hello, hello. I need to get back out to London. I went for my birthday last year. Great. I learned a lot. Do something a little bit different next time when I go out there. Andrea from Moldova. Hello, hello. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Creator for Fun. Good morning. We're going to be I'm going to start off with the basics videos. I'm going to do that with the Rode Videocaster and get that back to you as well, too. Thank you again for that. Reverend Leroy, how you doing? Albert from Barcelona. Hello. Bruce from Beaumont, Texas. Hello. Brian Jones. Hello, hello. Parker, how you doing, sir? Mike from Canada. Hello, hello. Michael Baldwin from Philly. Hello, hello. Scott, how are you doing? Jay Smith. Hello, hello. Patrick. Hello. Teki Tara. Hello, hello. JD. How are you doing? Richard. Oh, my stuff jumped up on me. Hey, how are you doing? Professor Sood. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hello, hello. And I was going to say Tooth E-Moon, but to the moon. Hello, hello. All right, folks, so before we get started, please know if you have a question, start it off with a Q. It makes it really easy for me to see all the stuff as stuff starts building up. Again, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't, hit that like button. It helps push this out to the algorithm to let people know what's going on and hopefully share this with more other people. We do have another camera that I haven't had a chance to I have reviewed. I need to do it. It didn't come out to the quality that I like. We have a new 4K camera here. So this is by AVCams. This is a mini wireless NDI 4K camera that will be able to live stream. It does have HDMI out, obviously, because it's connected. And it has some gestures. Let's see if we can get it to respond. And it keeps acting up with my mic in front of me. That's the reason I had to redo the video. There we go. So we got some zooming in and out, so we can do that again. So we can zoom in and out with some hand gestures. Really cool. And you see my Brian again. Thank you here, so I don't spill my drink here. So that's what we got going on. I'm gonna hold off on this camera right here, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to look in this direction. Damon, hello, hello. And it's funny. I'm not making fun of your name. I was just finished. I need to stop moving this hand. I just finished playing Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster. And if you haven't known about that game, it's about like 1,000 years in the future. Everything has died off. Everything has been remade through AI and stuff like that. Really good story. But all the names that we know, they think they're mystical. So they're like, oh my gosh, the evil daemon. And that's really a daemon because it was talking about a Linux operating system, which I think is funny. That's why your name just jumped out to me. Sorry about that. Hello, Scott. And I think that's about it. So we're going to fire away with some questions, folks. And I need to turn off the hand gestures because this is starting to get annoying because I'm just moving my hands and it's doing a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't want it to do. Give me 1 second so I can connect to the app. That video, actually, like I said, I've done the video on this. I just didn't like how it came out because there are a bunch of features that I got access to the app that's early. So a lot of the things aren't done yet. So the live streaming component isn't there yet. So that's why, I want to be genuine with how I'm talking about this stuff and give it a fair shake because everything isn't there. All right. So I just turned off the hand gesture. So there's the app. But anyway, let's fire away at y'all's questions, folks. Again, started with a Q as best as possible. Makes it jump out very easy for me to see. And we'll start with Creative for Fun. I get so confused when it comes to IP addresses and setting them up. Can you do a video about setting up a new network after running an Ethernet cable to the Xfinity box into a PoE switch? No problem. I will try and do a simple version, and I logged into the Unified that I set up at 31st Street, and we'll try and explain that. And I don't know what is going on with my Explorer window. It won't respond like I need it to. But, oh well, we got it up and working here. So it's going to, no, I didn't want to do that. I want to cut over to this. There we go. All right. So let's explain this from the beginning. So I'm going to do this very simply. So you got your modem. With her, it is Xfinity. And most of the time, when you get your router, your modem and router from your ISP, it's both. All right. So this one, say this is going to get an IP address that's coming in from the company. So just say that's Xfinity. So the WAN address, wide area network, that's coming from them, which is actually a LAN if you really think about it. Say that, for example, is, I don't know, I'm making up something, folks, so the IT people don't beat me up. 77.xxxxxx, something like that. And then most of the time, your internal network that we use is either going to be 192.168.0 or 1, something like that, or 10.1.10.xx, something like that. So when it does this, and actually let me change the numbers here, and hopefully y'all can see this. I changed up the size so you can see it. So let's just go with 192.168.0.1. It typically will start with a 2, but say it starts with that IP address, and it will go from a range of 1 to 254. It will assign licenses to everything that's connected. So if we set up a computer that is connected here, and say we set up a switch. No, I'm not going to do that. So say this router has 4 ports on the back, and typically they do. We'll connect that, and I need to silence my computer audio. Emails are coming in. So this is connected directly through an Ethernet or through, let's do a laptop as well too, because most of the time your router does have wireless on it as well too. So that is connected here as well. And let's change this one to a dotted line to signify that it is wireless. So that's a wireless connection. So this one would get an IP address assigned from the router as 192.168.0.10. And then this one will be assigned 192.168.0.11. I'm being simple with this. Now, these are called dynamic IP addresses, meaning that every time this connects, these numbers could possibly change. But if you don't have a lot of stuff, most of the time it sends out this license. It's a 24-hour to sometimes a 3-day or sometimes a whole year license. So you'll always get this IP address. Sometimes it changes. This is the reason why when we set up cameras, at least when I set up cameras, I set my IP address to be something that is dynamic, like the camera that you're seeing right now. This is connected to my router over Wi-Fi, and I'm just going to use the IP addresses for me. So my IP addresses that I assign personally tell the router to give this device this IP address. And like I'll look at this camera that's over here. This is 192.168.0.91. That's the one that I assign to it. Now, that's just how I decide to do it. So when I set up my network, that's how it works. Now, back to Creator for Fun's question. When you have a switch that is added, it all depends on the type of switch, but most of the switches that are unmanaged, they really don't do anything. They just kind of switch and split out everything. So a connection is ran to this switch. Let's get this up out of the way. And now you can have more devices connected to that. That's all it really means. So now if I have a computer set up to this, another computer set up, or your ATEM or anything like that, it's just going to assign, the router is just going to assign the next IP address to that range. It could be anything, but it's going to be in that range of 192.168.0 something. So let's say this one is now 20. So really, if you're not trying to do anything different, once you connect it like this, it will just assign everything natively. So where is my stuff? So I'll show you mine. I'll show you my network on how my stuff is. Let me log into it. Let me look at the topology map. And yes, I do have a lot of stuff here in my network. So if I log in, so I have Verizon Fios, goes to my UDM, which is my modem and router, because I don't rent. I bought it for myself. Then it goes to my switch. Then that's my 10 gigabit switch. Then it hands out to everybody else. And what information do I need to show? Won't let me show my IP addresses on here, but whatever. So it assigns this and it splits down. It just keeps filtering and filtering and filtering and goes down to all my stuff. That's how that works. So when I look at all my devices that are connected, see, it starts assigning IP addresses randomly. Now, I've made a separate network for my smart devices, so they're on a completely different network. So that kind of ties to your question, Creator for Fun. It depends. Some routers will allow you to make another network on its devices. Not all of them can. The unified ones do. And let's see if my Explorer window will actually open. All right, so let's go to 31st Street. Nah, I'll do this with mine. That's fine. So in here, I can come in here and make a new network, which is what I've done here. So say I want, well, that's Wi-Fi network here. So I have one for my unified access stuff. That's where my IP addresses are 192.168.50. Then my family stuff, this is more protective stuff for my daughter. So it filters some stuff that she can and can't go to. That's 0.90. Then my camera systems are 0.60. And then my smart devices are on 10. And then if I have any guests that come to the house, they're on a completely different network that is isolated from everybody else. You don't have to do that. If you, the way you have your stuff connected, Creator for Fun, if you just connect it through an Ethernet through that, it will filter the exact same way. And when I do my devices, as you can see, they sequentially, well, I put it this way, but they will just assign IP addresses. Once I connect it, that's it. It just assigns that way. If you want to make something completely different, that is going to be dependent on your network. And if you're using Xfinity, and I've used those routers before, I don't believe you can actually make any new type of virtual networks or a separate network to make it different. So if you just plug it in, it should just work. But I'll just show you how easy it is. If you could do it, all of these routers, they look a little bit different, but they follow the same premise. So I'll come in here and make a new VLAN or a new virtual network. I'll just call this YouTube test. and then I need to give it a range. Now, it's already assigned something for me that is available. 192.168.1, that is available. And private IP addresses, I'm getting a little bit too deep, so please let me know. Typically, private IP addresses inside your home or something like that are 192.168 or 10 dot something, 10.0.0.1, something like that, to 255, something like that, or 172 something, .192, something like that. So you have a range of something, only private subnets. Actually, did I do that number wrong? I think that second number is wrong. Yeah, it's a private network. Those are the IP addresses. So if you wanted to make some, so I'm just going to go back here because I'm going too long. So I'll come in here and say it's 192.168. I don't know, 170.0. So now that means once I set this network up and I assign this network to a port, one of the jacks on the back of your router, everything that's connected to it will start assigning IP addresses from the range of 192.168.170.1 all the way up to 255. That's the range. So I can have 249 devices on that network. But again, typically, you won't have to do that. So I think I can actually get to a network real quick. Let me remote into something that actually is Comcast, and I'll show you. No one should have changed this IP address the router, because no one knows anything. It's been sitting there collecting dust for I don't know how long, because I was the only one that touched the stuff. So give me a second to log into Antioch's stuff. I can get to their router. All right, so we're going to come in here. So they have Unify stuff here set up as well, too. But if I go to 10.1.10.1, that should be their router. Should be. Let's see. Something changed. I wonder if somebody did touch something on the router. I don't know. But most of those routers, you don't have access to make those changes like that. Who else do I know has Comcast? And I don't want to drag this too long, but let me see. Amazing Grace World has Comcast. See, Antioch has Comcast. Community Independent Methodist does. First Union does. Epworth. Let me see if I can go into Epworth. Typically, they have their computer on, and I can go to their router, and I know they haven't changed anything as well either. I'm saying all that, and somebody keeps installing some junk on here. I need to get into that system because that's some bootleg stuff there. So anyway, let's try this one, 10.1.10.1. All right, so this is the router. So I know I can get to this. Come on. Did they change it? I'm dragging just too long. I don't know what they changed that to. Well, anyway, creative for fun. If you just connected it to it, you shouldn't have to set up a network. But let me know. But I will do a detailed video because this is going a little bit too long. But hopefully that helped you get a little bit of info on what is going on with that. And I'm downloading malware bytes on the computer at Epworth because I think some junk got installed on there. And if I don't fix it now, I know I'm going to get a call. But hope that helped. Sorry if that was confusing. Let's see. Dwayne Rich here. And I'm multitasking right now. Hi, let me switch back to this one. Hi, having trouble showing the PTZ in-house when needed. I have connected to HDMI on the ATEM, and I'm also using the Aura Matrix, looking to stream the program out, but not working. Okay, I need the full layout of what you got. So the PTZ is connected to the ATEM. And what type of ATEM do you have? And does the out from the ATEM go to your ORI matrix? So while I'm installing this on Epworth, let's cut back over here to keep pressing the wrong button. Let's cut back over here and let's go open up this again. Let's make a new one. So in that setup, you would have your camera, your PTZ. I'm just going to design it and tell me if this is how I would set it up, but tell me if it's not like this, and then we kind of got an answer to what's going on. Your ATEM, I'm assuming that you're going to have an ATEM Mini Pro or higher that gives you an output if you want to output this to stuff inside the sanctuary. So you got your HDMI cable connected to your ATEM from your camera, and we'll have a matrix. And for those who know the difference between a splitter and a matrix has multiple inputs with multiple outputs, so you can route them differently. A splitter just has one input and it splits out. So you could have multiple inputs. So say you have the out from the ATEM going into a matrix, and let's do a television. And I'm going to color code this so it makes it a little bit easier. So say you got something like this, and say we got a DVD player. When's the last time you used a DVD player? That's a question for y'all. So say we got a I'll use something like this because I just need something to simulate this. Say this is a DVD player, right? That is another output that'll allow this to come in. And let's make this one orange just to make it easier. So a matrix will allow you to say, hey, I want input number 1. And again, we're color coding this to be the ATEM. That's to go to this monitor. But this monitor, I want the DVD to go to that. That's the difference between a matrix that this device can handle multiple inputs and route them to differently. So in this setup, this is how this should be set up. If it's not set up this way, let me know on the corrections of this, and we'll circle back for you, Dwayne, and see how we can answer that better for you. All right. Let's see. Jay Smith, do you have any videos adding audio to interface with PTZs or as a separate setup? Yes, I have, but I'm going to be going back doing a whole bunch of basic stuff all over again. So I think in that video I have done it, and I actually was digging through my desk drawers, and I ended up having 2 of these audio interfaces. So these are the ones I actually replaced at one church because we did this was actually, now that I think about it, this was at Runnymede where we put the X32 and had a computer that replaced that one. So the audio goes over USB to the system. No, dual XLR to 3.5 went into the ATEM. Then this one was at Mount Shiloh. And then we connected it a different way. So I didn't realize I had 2 of these. But yes, you could do something like this where you would bring in, let me switch back to my front camera. So we can switch back. We'll bring in audio from your mixer into this, and then it can output to that. So if you needed to something like this, you could connect it to this and then output and connect it to your camera if you want to do it. But I did a video like that a long time ago, but again, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of back to basic stuff, and we will go over that specifically for you or anybody else that needed that. Patrick, shoulder. Do you use a production monitor or TV monitor when live streaming at a location offsite? I use a portable monitor. That is what I personally use. So, for example, I actually broke out a bunch of these. And I really need to find a different location so I can reach my joystick to move it. Oh, All right, I'll just put it right here. So, like, for example, if I go here, in my setup right now, I have a portable monitor right here. That is like a $75 15.5-inch folding monitor. And then I actually have two more that are over here that I use. One of them that's showing the ATEM Television Studio HD is the one under the bottom right there that only has two inputs. And then the other one right there is for my web presenter so I can see the audio and everything is going out. That's normally what I use. I used to bring, man, I need to shave. I used to actually bring a full-size monitor when I used to stream football games because they really didn't have anything like that. But now that I have stuff like this folds down very easily, and I can put that inside my book bag or whatever I'm using. So that is what I normally use. And I did a review on that a while ago, and I think when I gave my first one away, I think I gave that one away to D, I think I gave that one away to D when I was giving that stuff away. But yeah, I have a link on that. And then I'll pull one of those up. But I got about like 5 of those things because they are just really, really good. Mobile monitor, USB powered, and it's actually on an even lower sale right now. If I cut over here, so this is the most recent one, and now it's going for like 70 blickets. So that is that, and that's the exact one that I have on every monitor I got here, the KYY. So really cool. I will put a link in the description for that. And really, I mean, they fold. It's about twice the size of an iPad, but really good for like just being able to have a secondary monitor on different locations. Mobile monitor link for you. All righty. Techie Terra, can you connect a ProPresenter screen to a Wi-Fi monitor? Technically, yes, if the Wi-Fi can be picked up, because whether it's a Mac or Windows, they should be able to see a wireless monitor. Because like even in my setup, if I cut back over here to my desktop, you can't see the... Let me do this. I normally do not put my taskbar on all my monitors, but this will be the easiest, showing all displays. All right. So on here, oh, and it doesn't show that one. Normally, you could connect a monitor, and it says that you can broadcast it. And where is that setting? I think Explorer is not working. Like my taskbar, pressing the start button doesn't work. If I can spell wireless monitor. Yeah, there's a... You can connect a projector. Where's the screen? But like right now, I don't know why mine is not showing. Like right now, I have 2 televisions. I could wirelessly send this stuff to the television upstairs, and it shows as an output. So if the computer can support it, if the television can support it, you should be able to see it. So like, let me see if it will show up here. If I go to network devices. So see right here, here's my television upstairs. It does show up. I could connect to this and broadcast to it. That's one way. And there's another monitor. Please let me know. I'm drawing a blank right now because I've done this many a times. I don't know why in the world I'm tripping on this right now. Normally my other monitor would show, but the monitor just right in front of me, I don't have that one connected to Ethernet right now because I need to make another cable for it. But if I would, this one would show up the exact same way. So there is a way to do it. I just don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now on that. Professor Sood, hey, thank you for responding to my message on OBS lower thirds video. Really appreciate it. Can you help me solve the problem? Yeah, I responded to you. When you're using the OBS Lower thirds. When you put the file inside of, hold on, my screen just went out here. That's not what I wanted. Why did my screen go out? Oh, because I'm using my NDI one and OBS cut over to that camera. I don't know why I did that. That's strange. All right. Yeah, I can't use this camera right now because OBS is looking at it. So anyway, if we cut back over to this, when you're using this, the issue that you're having is if you place your lower third files, and my computer is really acting up today. If you place the lower third files in the OBS folder under program files, the operating system treats that location a little bit differently. So from what you said, you placed all your files inside of the OBS folder, like under program files, not that one. So you placed the files somewhere over here, and they changed the name. There, you place the files in here. This will not work. So for example, I have mine working, and I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. So what I have my files set up in a different folder, like right here. This is where I have my animated lower thirds set up. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick just to show you. And this is how I set it up in the video, that I put it in a different location. So we're going to look at the lower thirds file. That's our location. We're going to do our browser source. We're going to copy. Come on now. We'll just double click on it, open this up, copy the path. We're going to add a new browser source. Give it the path. I'll say it's a local file, or you could do it from the web browser. This is how I do it from a web browser standpoint. We'll do that as 1920 by 1080. There's our source. Then we're also going to add our control panel. I copied that. We're going to go to docs. I'm going to make a new custom one. We'll call that lower thirds. And see, there's our stuff. And it just shows up immediately. So if I come in here, let's turn it on, and we'll just do test. And see, it shows up here. So now let me do this again, but I'm going to change it to the location similar to where I think you have yours. So if I change all of this, so we see that it works. So I'm going to take these files and move it in the OBS folder. And this is the reason why I don't do it this way. And let's just paste it here. And first off, it's giving me, like, it's not bringing up any of my stuff. Like any of my windows, it keeps hiding it behind. So I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so we got our files here. So now that's where it's located. So now let's do the same thing again. Do I have this on always on front? No, I mean always on top. Yeah, it's like it's not showing my stuff for whatever reason. Anyway, so let's go in here. We're going to do the same thing, lower thirds. We're going to open up the browser. That's going to give us our path. This is what I'm copying it, because this is more of the web page kind of format. So we come in here, add a browser. We're going to put that path, 1920, 1080, because that's the size of mine. All right. We're going to do the same thing for the control panel. This is under the new location and path. And I'm just going to change where that is. Lower thirds. Apply. So that shows up. Let's move. Come on. Do that again. Yes, I want to reset docs. Thank you. There we go. Now, I think it's still playing on when I did this. I think it's still copied from there. So I don't know. Where exactly did you place the files? Did you place it in the same location I did? Because in here, when I did this originally, it did not work. But it's working now. I think it's still remnants of when I moved it before. So let's close it up, open it up again. But let me know exactly the path of where you placed the files, and we can verify that. So it is showing up again still. So that's in the new location. But let me know where that location was. To the moon. And is that camera still not working? I don't know why it's not. Let me turn off the NDI. All right, we'll reboot it real quick. From your experience, what makes a great training session for a media ministry? Still working on that because I think Antioch hired me to come back and do a training session with them the last weekend of this month to go over some stuff. So I think the good training session is giving, at least for me, is giving an example of how everybody needs to be able to go through, giving scenarios to test through, scenarios of things breaking, how to work through that. And I guess I'm wanting the extent of what you're talking about from training session, as in what makes from your experience, what makes a great training session. I mean, I think the overall is what is the expected result at the end of when you're done. Do you want people to feel empowered? Do you want them to feel that competent in what they're doing? Do you want to leave them with a checklist of things that or guides that they can fall back on if they have any other questions? It needs to be easily repeatable, easily digestible, but then build your training session at the competency level of your team and then take it up a notch, because you don't want to teach at a level of comfort to where it's like, oh, I'm comfortable with this because I know. You need to push a little bit. Like when I teach choir, I pick songs that are in the range of their abilities, and then I crank it up just a little bit. It's just like when you're lifting weights. If you always lift weights that you're comfortable with, yeah, you'll get ripped, but you're not going to get built. So you need to push a little bit past the comfort zone. That's where growth comes. That's my mindset when it comes to training. I don't know if that really answers your question. I hope it does. Jay Smith, do you have any videos for adding audio? I think I already talked about that one. So y'all don't have to repeat the question. I'm going to get to it. I'm just going back through when people post stuff. All right. Okay. I actually already responded to that one too. I answered that one. All right. RK. New to ATEM, have the Mini Pro ISO. Since the USB-C out must connect to PC, how do you also use it to record? You can't. You have to do one or the other. You don't. Now, are you using the USB-C out to send video and audio to your computer? And because you could, once it's set up, like right now, I'm connected to my ATEMs over USB, but I don't have to. I can connect to it over the network, and it just talks to the stuff that way. If you needed to record, you do need to free up that USB for that. And if you just need to function and control the ATEM, you can do that over the network, just like a wireless printer. Once you have an IP address, but that would assume that if you're live streaming, you would let the ATEM do the live streaming. Then you don't need the USB-C, and you can use the USB-C freed up. So when I used to do football games, when I had an ATEM Mini Pro, I would connect it over USB because the most recent firmware lets you, back in the day, you could only make changes to the ATEM over USB. They have now updated that you can make changes over USB or the Ethernet. But what I used to do at a football game, I would set up everything over USB. After everything I got it set up, make sure it's on the network, disconnect the USB, make sure my computer can talk to the ATEM where it can function. I set up where it's streaming to, set up all that stuff. The ATEM was handling the streaming. I had my drive here, if you can see it. My drive was connected to the ATEM so it could record. The ATEM is connected to the Ethernet. It's going out handling the live stream, but then on my computer, I could talk to it over the network. That's how that worked when I had an ATEM Mini Pro. But where are you using the USB out for video and audio? There's a fire truck. And if so, what's handling your live stream? Are you using OBS or is the ATEM handling it? That will determine how that will work. Alex, is there a budget mini PC alternative for live streaming that can replace our current HP laptop i5 8th gen 8 gigabits 10? Yes, the mini PC that we've talked about. Mine is upstairs. Give me a second. This is the mini PC I've talked about many a time before. This is a Ryzen 7 system. This is more than capable of handling the live stream. And this is more powerful than your i5 with what you got. I got this one for $279. If you needed more power, you could go to the Ryzen 9. And you can get 32 gigs of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive, all that other stuff. And it'll be more than powerful enough to handle your live stream. And this is the mini PC that comes in that the two $1,000 bundle giveaways that we're doing, which handles your live streaming in that bundle. I will put a link to that one as well. Mini PC Ryzen 7. And this will be the exact same one. Yeah, still going for $279. Hold on. Let me find that one. And I'll put a link in the description for that one. And again, folks, if you like what we're doing, I greatly appreciate it if you hit that like button if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate that. All right, that is there. Let's close these windows down and let's move on to our next question. Brian, AVCam's camera picture looks good. Was that on the default settings? Also optical or digital? I believe it's only a 3x zoom. That is without me changing any settings at all. I don't have my camera. Hold on. Let me see if I can hook my phone up so you can actually see it. Have to hook up this adapter so y'all can see my phone. Come on. All right, there it goes. So, do I have this still set up? I need to turn my upstream key so y'all can see it. We'll set that to number 2. Oops, I was pressing the wrong one. All right, So we got it here. Hold on, I gotta resize it so y'all can see everything. Change that to 0. Scoot that over. We're gonna mask it. Let me get rid of the stuff so you can hear it. What was that? 4? No, that was 10, 11, 12. 12. No, that was 11.5. All right. So here are the settings. First, we got to connect back to the camera. We pick how it's connected. It's connected over Wi-Fi. And now I got to change my password. That was one of the issues I told them. They show your network password, your Wi-Fi password, which I think is very stupid. So I have a side note. I need to change my password. So we connect. There's our settings. So when we go inside of it, that's just all the regular settings that I have. I didn't change any of the stuff here. If we go here to image settings, there we go. So it wasn't really me doing anything. This is just everything was on the default settings. I have not adjusted any of the settings in the camera at all. And while I'm answering questions, I'm going to be changing my Wi-Fi password. Yay. All right, Bobby. And let me log in while I'm doing this at the same time. We need a computer for our church. How do I go about ordering one from you? You go to AJaytheCEO.com. Let's go here. You go to AJaytheCEO.com, go to shop, go to hardware, and you got your systems right there. For custom streaming, this is the newer generation, the Ryzen 8 series. You could go back to the older one, save yourself $100 in there, and you can pick either one from there. That's the easiest way to do it. So if we do computers, I'll send that link directly in the chat for you. And you do that. Give me about 7 days, and then it takes about 5 days for that stuff to come in. It takes me a day to assemble it, and then I ship it out the very next day. So that's about it for you. And what am I going to change my password to? I got to change a whole bunch of stuff in here to that. Oh, well. We'll take care of that. I'm sorry, I'm updating. The Unify stuff needs to update. And after that I'm going to change the password. So don't like when they do stuff like that. I tried everything you specified in the video. Initially, I kept the files on the desktop and kept it there to use it in OBS to instruct by you. It didn't work, even after keeping the files in the folder. What you would do, like what I did, it depends. Sometimes when you come inside these settings, come on, OBS, move. I don't know. I had to restart my computer after this. But one thing to be aware of, like when I made this path, I did mine, like you could do a local file, navigate out to your files. Like that, your browser source, and then put it in this way. Sometimes when I've seen it not work, and this is what I did just now when I did this, that is the path. Sounding like the dude Ephraim. I don't know if y'all watch him on Instagram. He makes fun of his parents. Ephraim, you're choosing the path. Anyway, you could do it from a file this way, or how I did it when I just did it is I did it as if it was a web page. So I would just come in here, go to the same files, click on it, let it open up in Chrome. Like I said, it's not opening none of my stuff. It's not bringing it up. So see, this is what it did. So when I copy this, So in here, instead of setting local file, I uncheck that. And when you paste it from your browser, see, it does it in this format. Try alternating between them, because sometimes I've had people that just go to the file, it doesn't work, and then they uncheck local file and put it like it's a web address, and it puts this whole file in this format. It worked that way. Try either one of those, because it alternates with me. So like if I go back here and switch it back, see, I have it as local file. See, it's not showing up now. See, it stopped working. But if I go back here, change it back to like a web page, now it shows up. So it might be that. That'll be one thing I would recommend you go ahead and try and change from there. Now let's see if my stuff will open again so I can get back and see what y'all were talking about. All right, there we go. And I forgot that I'm also running this malware stuff on Epworth to get rid of the junk that I think somebody installed on there. All right, Frank. Reboot required. Yep. See, it found something. Oh, it found a bunch of stuff. The work never ends. Frank, I have double checked, but I have lost feed from the Personas NSB stage box to the console. What is possibly causing this feed loss to the console? The very first thing is just to verify that the cable isn't loose. That's the easiest thing to do. Could be that the cable is damaged. It might be cut or something like that. I would verify that as well. Good gosh, this computer has 89 detections of some junk on it because somebody put some wrong stuff on this computer. That would be the first thing that I would check. Because it doesn't. That's why I like connecting the stuff. Because if you just lost the connection, and it's with stage boxes that are connected over Ethernet, the only thing it could be is either the cable's damaged or the cable is loose. Or after that, it would be that the setup is wrong. That somebody may have messed around with the setup and kind of broken some stuff. That's what I would think. But that would be the first thing that I would check. Patrick, where can I learn the basics of using triggers and variables? And I would highly recommend you check out the video that Mike did at the conference under the channel on Bit Companion. Also, reach out to Mike. I'm sure he would love to help you because he does a lot of custom programming for that, and he works with that a lot more than I do. That would be the best, and that's the beauty of the group together. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why you have to be aware of the stuff that you got. All of these manipulations and registry keys and stuff that's tried to compromise this computer. So I'm gonna have to reach out to them, and somebody put some junk on their system. And I could tell because that stupid browser, like Edge, Firefox, Chrome, all of them are good enough. Don't install anything other than that. And this other browser doesn't even exist on here. All right, so we got rid of that. I'm sorry, I'm changing topics, but where was it? It was this stupid browser that somebody installed that put some junk on the computer, and I got to reach out to them and tell them to don't do that. Stop doing stuff like that. Let's restart the computer. Ooh, excuse me. Daniel. Hey AJ, hope you're doing good. I have been trying to activate the auto tracking on our PTZ optics, but cannot get a hold of it. I'd appreciate it if you help. Also, is it possible to sync our mic? Yes, it is. Kind of need to know all of the details of what you got. I have a PTZ optics move right here beside me. I don't know if that's the exact same type that you have, but if we get in here, And we log in. To change the control, you would come into your main camera settings, go to control here, and your tracking is right here. So like mine is off. So if I turn mine on and apply, and there it goes. Now it's tracking me. So it's going to follow me from here the entire time. Now, similar to what some other people have asked, if we wanted to do audio, if we come in here, and let me crank it up just a little bit, and let's look for our audio. So right now, audio encoding is on, audio input, and we have all of this stuff. So on the back of it, I would have to hook up a mic to this. Let me see. Do I have one? Oh, so we'll use our DJI mic, wireless mic for this. So we'll hook it up to our out here, and we'll put this in the back. So I have it connected to the line in on here. So now we are going to, let's use OBS because that's the easiest way to do this. And we're going to connect to that camera, and that is, we'll be able to get that over media source. Or, no, I think that's NDI. I think that one is NDI too. So let me go to here. We're going to connect that to the PTZ optics. There we go. I don't have NDI on that one. It has to be enabled. All right. We'll add media source. We're going to do RTSP, the IP address. And there we go. There's the camera from here. So how are we going to add audio from this? I forgot how we can add audio over media this way. I forgot. We'll come back to that. Let me go back to our camera here. So our audio is coming in, but how can we register that our audio? Oh, duh, AJ, you have it connected to your ATEM. That's how you could do it. So if I bring my ATEM over here and we go to our audio, and this is our last camera. So once we pull out our mic, our mic is on, and there you go. So you see the readings right now are coming in from, oh, not that, AJ. You're pointing at the wrong one. It should be coming in from here. So we got our line in. I'm seeing a reading on here. So we should be seeing audio when it comes through on this way. So let's see. What are we missing? Audio is enabled. Audio out. So that should come out of HDMI, which is going into the ATEM. Enable USB audio. So I don't know. I mean, I got mine connected. I mean, the mic is reading. Why am I not seeing audio come in on the here? I have no idea why nothing is showing here. Because you see all my other cameras, that have audio turned on is registering. So this is that newer camera right here. That's the other PTZ that's behind me. Let me move it to that one. I mean, the concept should be the same. I just don't know why that's not working. I might have to circle back on that one because that's strange. Because my mic is on. This is registering that it's on. So I don't know what is going on with that setting. Let's do the tried and true. Reboot. Why do I have to reboot for the... I'm going to reboot it. That don't make sense, but we'll reboot it and see where that goes, and we'll come back once that's up and see if that helps. That is strange. Benny, thanks for your input about displaying laptop screen to multiple LED. Hey, you are welcome. And said it worked. It worked fine. Great. All the load was on the processor. Thank you once again. Hey, you are welcome. I think I understand. I tried. Hey, let me know if you have any other issues with that. RK, how would I keep multi-view on one monitor while live content on another? If you have the A10 Mini Pro, you can't do that. The A10 Mini Pro only gives you one HDMI out, so it's going to be either content or multi-view. If you really wanted to and you're using the USB to feed into another computer or something like that, you could have the USB going into OBS, and then you could see the program out, and then the HDMI would still give you your multi-view. But with the A10 Mini Pro, that's kind of the reason why I don't recommend them for churches anymore since the Mini Extreme came out, because you had a choice between the multi-view or the program. You don't have both. But that's kind of the extent. You would have to switch back and forth. Philip Paul, have you used the Behringer X-Touch extender and the X-Touch Mini USB before? No, I have not. I have not used those. But maybe somebody in the group has. I would pose that question to people on here, on the stream, or in the Facebook group. Nick, I'm looking for a recommendation on upgrading our PTZ camera. We currently use a Lumens VC B30U, which is a USB PTZ. What do you recommend? The AVCans E20 is a good one. It starts at $349. You could go up to the higher version of that. It's talking about like $550. The Fumaco is also good as well too. Now, all these cheaper sub $600 ones actually have software-based AI tracking, so that's available too. If you want to go to the higher ones, you're talking about $700. Or if you start talking about the PTZ Optics or any of these other bigger ones, you're talking about $900 and something. But again, the churches I've used, you cannot tell the difference. Anybody who's saying that they can tell the difference in quality between the AVCans E20 and the higher versions of that same, I think they're lying, because it's using the exact same sensor, it's using the exact same components that develop the image quality. What you're really paying for is the shell that encapsulates the whole equipment. The sensors and all of that are exactly the same. But any of those will work. Again, I'm installing about 8 of the E20s coming up pretty soon. I've installed them in quite a few churches, and they are very happy with the image quality from them. That's what I would recommend. But again, what's your budget? And we can talk about that as well too. And actually, let me show you, just in case if anybody wanted to see what I'm talking about. The AVCans E20. So you got them in this range right here. You can get 2 of them with the joystick for around like $1160. Good deal with the exact same joystick I'm using. They haven't been selling the joystick separately, which is kind of disappointing. I need another joystick. This one has NDI built in. The other one doesn't. So for an extra $40, you can have NDI as an option. The color is the only issue. If you want to go to white cameras, I would look at SMT AV. That's similar to the one that's right above my head. They have it in that one. You also have Ada Imaging. They have they don't do 20X. I think it's like 12X and 18X zoom and stuff like that. No, so back to you, Brian. I believe it's digital zoom, because this is a 4K camera, so it's able to zoom in from that. Or I think it is digital. I believe it is, because when I zoom in, I don't see anything moving inside of here, so I don't believe that's optical. Sorry to jump back, because I remembered I didn't answer that part of your question. So like, and I turned off that. Let me see. If I pull in, yeah, it's digital, because I'm not seeing anything move inside of here. It can. We have a mixer and use both main outputs left and right to connect to the A10 Mini Pro ISO. However, the audio doesn't sound dynamic and lively. If that makes sense, how do I fix that? Well, most likely dynamic and lively is because you're hearing the sound from bouncing off carpets, chairs, people, and walls. If you want to do that, that's where you can probably add like a crowd mic so you can get some of that ambiance and everything that's going inside of that. But that's kind of like the thing I'm trying to honestly beat my head, trying to get people to understand when they're mixing for the live stream. A lot of people, they put all their focus in the house, and the live stream sounds like trash because it's two different paradigms you have to listen for. You need to make sure that you have your ears encapsulated so you're not hearing anything outside and you're listening and mixing solely for the for what's going to your live stream. So headphones, because if you're not in headphones and you're listening to what's coming inside the sanctuary, it is giving you a false sense of what your sound is really doing. Mike said, we need to train the trainer so we can train our people. Yeah, very much so. T-Pockets. So I bought the $1,000 bundle the last time. I need to set up is the camera. I was wondering, how do I find the IP address? And I downloaded the OBS bundle, but the screen is not sized right. Most likely in OBS, you need to go into your canvas settings, and the OBS bundle was set to 1080p. I don't know why I couldn't say that. So we come up here to settings and do our video out. If it's not the right size, change it to here. Once both of those are at 1080p, then just pick on your source and then hit Control F. So if this was bigger, you can hit Control F and it will resize it to the size of your canvas, and get it back in line. If it's not the right size, that would be the easiest thing to do. And then the other part was, how do I find the IP address? Well, it all depends. That's why I always use Advanced IP Scanner. And then you can also download, depending on whichever camera that you got, and my taskbar is not working. That is frustrating. I downloaded the upgrade tool, and I actually just leave it on my computer. Was it there? No. Where did I put it? Was it in the documents? Oh, it's right there. I just missed it. I leave it right here, and then for the most part, except for the Famacos, this actually can see most of the cameras that use the same chipset. So I need to find the right network. That one. And if I search, see, this shows all my cameras. And it doesn't matter if it's even on that right IP address or not. So say these were still factory, and most of them, like the Famacos, are 192.168.65, 100, or 165, something like that, or the PTZ optics, or any of those that don't have DHCP set up there by default, 192.168, 100.88. As long as they're connected to the network, this upgrade tool that you can get from PTZ Optics, SMT, AV cans, whatever, the upgrade tool, it will find it. So right here, the 94 is the actual PTZ, the Famaco, this here. The 92 is my overhead. The 91 is the PTZ Optics. So inside of here, this will allow you at least to see it. And if you need to, that would tell you what the IP address is, or if it's still factory default, you can get to it, come in here to configure, and then you can set the IP address. So again, the upgrade tool, you can get it from whoever is your manufacturer, but most of these cameras use the same type of chips and they can talk on the same protocols. So you find any version honestly, I would say version 2.8 or lower, 2.7, you should be able to see any of the cameras that use the same type of chipset. So you should be good to go. And my control panel just shut down. Awesome. Why in the world did this shut down on me? We're having a lot of fun today with stuff that is just turning on and off whenever it wants to. I'm waiting for now my controls. Now they're back up. It just shut off. Let's see. What page that we're on? DJ Tone. Can you recommend PTZ camera that I can control remotely from anywhere? I mean, technically any, like the AVCams one could work, but again, to control it from anywhere, you need to set the camera up on the DMZ so it's available, readily available to the world. You could set up a dynamic DNS so you can get to it so it's not exposed. Any of these cameras could work. You just need to be able to get a way to connect to it so that you can do it. And you want to do it the most secure way possible. So using the dynamic DNS is probably the easiest thing. So dynamic DNS, this is a free service that will allow the service that automatically updates your domain IP address so you can touch it. So in other words, you put this stuff, don't mess with Cloudflare. You can mess with some of these other ones. Free dynamic DNS. So you would download this, and it's a program that will allow you to connect to it. It will give you a global IP address, and then this routes to your private camera that's behind the network so that you can control it. I might do a video talking about that. I really don't do a lot of stuff like that, but I mean, the concept is still kind of the same. Me personally, I can still control the cameras by going through remote Chrome desktop into a computer so I can move it. But if you want to go natively directly to a camera, you would need to use some type of dynamic DNS to translate the IP address for your camera. Like I said, if you want to put it out on the World Wide Web that anybody can get access to at any point in time and stuff like that, set it out on the DMZ. That's a setting inside most routers to say, hey, don't put this one IP address in front of the firewall and anything can access it. You set up a good password to it, and then you'll be fine. Let's switch back here. Let's see. Mike. So I'm switching to worship tools for planning and charts. Which presenter would do NDI so you could use it for our live stream lower thirds? Don't like the flow of Chroma King. Hey, I agree. I wish they would add it, but I mean, it's a license fee that they probably don't want to pay for, especially for the free version. Would the ATEM feed the audio and visuals to OBS wirelessly? No. OBS does not have, the ATEM has no wireless functionality in any way, shape, or form. It always has to be wired. Back to T-Pockets. Aside from my personal Mac, I have a Ryzen 7 personal mini PC and one of my church. They're amazing. Awesome. Alex, you are welcome. Mr. Richard, the mini PC, does it come with one or two HDMI outs? Well, it all depends on which one you get. Mine actually has HDMI and DisplayPort out that can easily be converted over to HDMI. I knew I had it in this drawer somewhere, so this was one I actually used. So this is a DisplayPort to HDMI. So there you go. You got two HDMIs right there if you want to. And this one does support, if your monitor supports it, the USB-C can output to a monitor that has USB C input as well too. So that would give you 3 monitors, but you could always connect a USB to HDMI or whatever adapter on it. So yes, you could. Elder Rob, hey, good morning to you. How do I live stream on Instagram and landscape and then on YouTube through OBS at the same time? We did a video talking about that. That is with the Atrium, or however you pronounce it, plugin that gives you the ability to do that. So let me turn all this stuff back on. Come on. There it goes. So with the plugin, it gives you multi-streaming, but it also gives you, they have another plugin for multiple output. No, that's the same one. Where is it? It was the, let's just do it again. So I had a video talking about this, and it's free, but you can also do a vertical plugin, and we'll actually just install it real quick again, because I took it off when I was doing new videos to go through the basics. So I completely wiped out everything on OBS so I can do this all over again. So let's install that. Gotta close OBS first. Come on, OBS. Close. All right, so it's looking for where everything is installed. There it goes. So now let's open up OBS again. And there's our layout. So as you can see, I'm going to set this as a vertical source. And we're just going to play off of what we already have. So this is what people would see for here. And this is the vertical layout. So we don't see nothing yet. So I need to add a source. I'm going to add my video source from Capture. And now it's just copying from here. And then we create the layout that we want. If my mouse will actually give me what I'm looking for. Stuff is acting up on me. So we fit the screen, but see, I don't want to do that. Why is it doing that? There we go. So now I can set it to where now that's my vertical. So everybody else will see this full screen, but then for Instagram, we could do it here, and then you would connect to your services on where you want to stream to. You know, what's your format? Instead of 1920 by 1080, it's doing 1080 by 1920. So it's like this. So you could do that, pick the place where you're streaming to, and boom. And now that's all being done inside of OBS. OBS, as long as your computer and your upload is fast enough, you can have it streamed to multiple locations. We covered that in that video as well, too. So I can go to Facebook, YouTube, whatever here. Then I can also stream to vertical platforms here. Really, really cool plugin. And I'm pressing the wrong camera, and this camera shut off again. I don't know why. Oh, because it's reading from the NDI? No. Oh, it's reading from because I have it. It looks like it doesn't do USB and HDMI out at the same time. I think that's what it is. Whatever. Let's go back here. Okay, I don't understand that. Okay, 2 PCs using the Mini Pro ISO. How am I able to show BIOS of second PC, which doesn't have... How am I able to show BIOS of second PC, which doesn't have ATEM software, while simultaneously showing other content? I do have internal capture card. I mean, you talking about showing the BIOS from when the computer starts up? Is that what you're saying? because you don't need the ATEM software to do that. As long as you have the computer connected to your ATEM, that's it. Because I've done that before. I have another computer connected when I'm setting up a computer that shows the output, that shows the BIOS, if that's exactly what you're talking about. But let me know if I'm wrong with that. Rob, you need to put an adware Pi-hole server at that site, and it will block all this stuff. I actually had that set up before on a Raspberry Pi. I did that a long time ago. I think I had a video covering that. I used to have that, but then they started adding more features to the unified one, so it was one extra piece I didn't need to have on there. On OBS, when I download the OBS Complete Bundle, it won't let me move the text any place I want. You have to uncheck the lock on the group, and then you can move it. So, like, for example, let's cut back over here, and let's just add the bundle again. Thank you, Arcamail, for subbing. And see, now the camera's working. Ain't that funny? Let's cut back over here, and let's add the bundle here. So let's import it. I want to import, get out of here. We're going to go to the OBS bundle version 3. And add, import. Now we got version 3. So if you're saying you can't move the text, like right now, I can't move this. You got to come in here, undo the lock. Now I can move this anywhere if it's inside of a group, like in here. Like if you unlock, well, like this one is unlocked, but see, I can't move it because the group is locked. If I unlock the group, now I can move that around. So you just got to do either one. Unlock the group, then unlock the item inside of it, and then you should be able to move it around. Let's see. Udemy TV. How can I get a nice audio on vMix? I need to know your setup. That's kind of subjective. I really need to know your stuff, and then we can talk through that. Thanks, man, for the AVCans demo. My bad about the Wi-Fi password. Nah, it's fine. I got to change the stuff anyway. So we're gonna cycle through all the stuff and do it. And I called that out. I actually have the video where I specifically called it out and I have it blurred out. But then in me doing this, I completely forgot about it. But you're fine. How do I add a regular image into a background on OBS? You just got to make an image layer on it. So if we come back over here and say, I need to put these side by side so I can do this. So it's like we go over here to live, and let me change this feed over to need to change it to something else. I'll just put it on the A10, whatever. So say I want to put a background in here. You have to add a source. So we'll add a source, add a image, call it whatever you want to. Let's see. We can find something here. So I'll use this Horizon Zero Dawn image that I have here. We'll add that, and boom, that's in front, but it works in layers. So if I want to move it behind, we just drop it down and put it behind wherever. So if I wanted to do this, like if this was my gaming channel, which I have not done in a minute, I have been gaming recently. So I can say I want to, I'm picking the wrong one. I'm changing the wrong image. So say I want to adjust my capture. I can come in here, hold down Alt, so I can cut this image down and get rid of all the stuff or mask this side. And say I want to mask that bottom, mask the top, but then I want to resize it. And say we're right there, and then I can say, so if this was gaming, I can have it like this, or if I wanted to have both at the same time, you could do something like that. It's all works in layers, and whichever one is the bottommost, that's the one at the bottom of everything. So there you go. Streets of Destiny. I have a USB from the X32 to the computer. Occasionally, OBS drops audio before live. I have to restart OBS to get the audio back. Make sure you go into your settings on the computer and go into right click on the start button and go to device manager. Come in here, go all the way down to your USB devices, USB controller, and go to each one of these and go to properties and make sure power management is not allowing the computer to turn this off. Make sure all of those are checked off and you should be good. That's happened before. That's why occasionally I come back in here because sometimes an update will turn this thing back on and just turn that off, because then the computer will say, oh, I don't think you need it, and it'll shut it off. And that might be your audio that's coming into or whatever device. So that's something that I do on occasion. I don't understand your question. How can tell me if I'm wrong in what I'm interpreting what you're saying. How can I run one vMix in a far distance and another with me to send the video? I don't know exactly if that's what you're saying, but depending on the version of vMix, if you want to do something like that with you bringing in, that's would be vMix call, and you would set up a web address that vMix makes, and it will be a web page that somebody just goes to, and I can bring in video from a distance. If your question is other than that, I'm sorry, I don't get exactly what you're asking. Nick, thanks for the recommendation. So what is the difference between the Famaco and the AVCans? AVCans is just a cheaper one. Famaco and AVCans, the chips are completely different. The AVCans, PTZ Optics, SMT AV, Persil, for the most part, they use the exact same motherboard, everything. The Famaco is its own different thing. It's completely different. It looks similar, but the chips are different that are inside the system. That's the main difference. It does have a bunch of other functions. Like the Famacos are the only ones I've seen that has auto up and down, meaning that like the cameras that I have here, if I set them up upside down, because that's how I always install them, so it has more range of motion, I have to go inside the menu and tell it that it has a ceiling mount. If I do it from the Famaco has, it automatically knows if it's upside down. That's just one small change that I know with those. Anthony. Hey, AJ, how do you set a private website for my church? My pastor doesn't like Facebook or YouTube. Also, do you know how to upload audio to the services of the service to SoundCloud? Thanks. Yeah, I used to use SoundCloud a long time ago back in the day at Antioch, where I was doing a podcast before they started doing the podcast stuff. So SoundCloud is real easy. It's literally just a page once you set it up. For a private website, I've done a couple of videos where we did it with WordPress. I really need to get back to WordPress, but right now I use everything through Squarespace. I had a recent video where I built a website with Squarespace. Same concept with Wix and all this other stuff like that. So that would be easy as well. But what do you want to host from it? If you're going to host anything, I still would prefer you probably doing. I know YouTube has made a couple of changes. You can make stuff private, but allow people to watch it with email addresses. You could like live stream to an unlisted video on YouTube, but then embed that video on your website. So there's multiple ways you could do that as well. But let me know. But I have videos on that. The Squarespace one was the most recent one, about a year ago. Alex, can this particular mini PC handle multi-streaming to 3 destinations? Yes, it can. All right, some of these I'm not going to be able to go through. You're saying, how can you create a multi-view in OBS? All you have to do is press the multi-view button in OBS. Inside of OBS, if you come in here to view, you have multi-view. Just pick it, and you pick whichever one that you want. So if I pick the one that's for this one, there you go. There's my multi-view. And then if I clicked on each one, that controls which one that you have. So that's just a button press for that. And then OBS Caller, you need to set up something like OBS Ninja or something like that to do that. I have not used that, so I can't tell you exactly how to do that. Back to T-Pocket. So would an overlay allow me to put my church logo behind the text? If so, how would I do that? I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, well, it wouldn't be behind the text. It would actually be a bug. That's how it'll be more of a downstream key. So if you take the video, like if you look at my video right now, we took this off the screen, flipped it upside down. So where you see your text, I'm pointing the wrong way. This text right here. So what we're doing, we take the screen off, flip it. Your text is right here. My video is here. So that's downstream key. So graphics are put up ahead of it. Scoreboards for sports, those are downstream keys. Upstream key is like your meteorologist. They're standing in front of a green screen. The map is behind them, and it goes up. So for you, if you want to put text in front of the screen, that is a downstream key, and that's considered a bug. You could do that very easily inside of OBS the exact same way, make it transparent. So like if I come over here, do the same thing, I'd add another image. I'll use my logo that is already transparent. Let's see. Official logo. And now we'll do the transparent one. I do that. See, it's already made transparent. Then I would resize that. Resize it to whatever sizes you want. And there you go. And I'll say I put it over here, and it's at the top layer. So no matter what I do, if I put anything behind here, it's ahead of everything else. So that'll be your church logo, whatever. So that's the whole concept. And you would do the same thing with the ATEM. It makes it easier. You just press it as a button, have a downstream key, and then boom, there you go. G. Albert. Can you use the magnifying tool on Windows when displaying some of the smaller print? I would, but it makes it difficult for me to see on here. I try to make it bigger when it's fonts like that. But, I mean, if I, you know. And then, of course, my menu doesn't want to show up. And it's the Windows key and the plus sign to turn that on, not the other one. So like if I had this on right now.
Magnifier.
You know, I could do this, but again, that magnifies everything for me. So now I can't see the controls on my desktop. So like if I cut over here and let you see what that looks like, if I do that and turn that, let me turn off. I need to turn off tracking on that camera. All right, so if I turn this off, and so if I turn that magnifier on so that y'all can see, this is what I would see. I can't see nothing. So that's the reason I don't do that. All righty. I don't even want to pronounce your name wrong. Have you used the Famaco video mixer switcher? Yes, I have. It's fine. It's similar to the other ones. Doesn't have as many bells and whistles as like the Black Magic one, but again, I'm spoiled. That's where I started with. But they're just as similar as like the GoStream. I haven't used the most recent one. I've used it probably about like a year and a half ago. But I think it's the basics of what is needed works great. Alex, someone asked about your PayPal account last week. I mean, Everything is on info at, no, it wasn't PayPal. They asked about Cash App. Everything for me, for the most part, is under AJ the CEO. I don't kind of like doing PayPal because there's too many scams that are going with that. I do have one. I would prefer, if you have a question about it and you want that, email me a question to ajhomes.com and I'll respond to it that way. I don't kind of like putting that stuff out there. I used to put my email out on older videos and I had people still email me that way. But since I have Google Workspace, I've had to filter a lot of people. I get a lot of, what's the most Christian way of saying this? I get a lot of stupid people that send me emails. And I say that on purpose, not trying to be a jerk, but I say it because I'm going to read you some of these wonderful emails that I get. Oh, and I just happen to have one that literally just came in. Let me read this to you. And this is the stupid type of emails that I get. And I had to change my email that comes in so I can filter stuff like this. Opportunity. Hi, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to follow up on my previous email to assure you of the interactive platform that we have. We feel that your channel bodes well for our product. Our product, again, y'all know what I do. I talk about media ministry. This is just a stupid AI-generated email that they just get people's email and filter it out. And they want to offer me an option of a platform to help people download their app. I'd get paid $2 every time somebody installs it. And you don't tell me what the app does, nothing. Like, I get stupid stuff like this, or I'll get other emails where it's like, hey, we've been watching your channel for a long time, and we think our product will be great for your audience. Would you please review our solar-powered plant water feeder? Like, stupid stuff like that. Like, you're not watching my channel because... and you're not even a person on the other end. You're just blanket sending this stuff out to a whole bunch of people, and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything that I have. Because most of the time when people will reach out to me, I used to respond to them and say, tell me how I can use this product for media ministry. And they never respond because it ain't anybody on the other end. They're just sending junk email and just stupid, dumb stuff. That's the only thing I don't like about putting my information out there, because I get dumb stuff like that all the time. Richard, please remind me, how do I get the sound from my church stream recorded in OBS? I'm able to capture the video, but I'm not able to get the audio. Well, Richard, it all depends on how you have it set up. But the easiest way, if you're on Windows, is if you have video capture, like I have it here. You would come to video capture, go to properties, scroll all the way down, check off use custom audio device, and then select whatever your audio is. So mine is the Rodecaster. If I had like a line in plugged into my computer, I would have it here. If I had one of those audio interfaces, it would show there. I would have the audio connected to that, and you bring it in that way. If you're on a Mac, Mac does not have that option. So what you have to do is come in here, and I do have my Mac, but I unplugged it to hook my phone up and all that stuff. In here, you would have to select the audio input capture. You could do the same thing with Windows. It just your computer has to now process two sources instead of it doing it under one source. That's why I do it that way. Do audio input, select whatever your audio input interface is bringing your audio in, and that's it. And that will now add audio here, as you can see right here. And that would be on your live stream. That's all you got to do, sir. David, hello. And thank you. I appreciate it. Vicky, how you doing there, Reverend Lightfoot? How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Ryan, good day, all. Hello. Reverend Lightfoot, you know what I'm talking about. I said it to you at church. I love God's people, but them professional church people, woo. Hey, I try to be nice, man. Like, people keep forgetting that I'm still a Marine. I had some colorful language back in the day. We try to leave that alone, though. You drop something heavy enough on my foot, or you tick me off enough, or you mess with my baby girl, you might get some creative, colorful things come out. I might call you a tawdry philanderer or something like that. I know, dirty language. Shane and Hannah, hello, hello. If if y'all only knew the emails and the stuff I get, I'm just like, that's why I sit back and wonder. I was like, is the million subscriber, the 100,000 subscriber, the million subscriber stuff hasn't happened yet because my patience isn't there. I sit back and wonder because like I want to fire off emails, replies to people so bad. And then I'm just like, okay, I can't do that because of that can go out there and then somebody can use that against me because, oh, AJ, the Christian guy, is up here cussing people out. And, I can't do that. Oh, no. I'm not saying a bad thing about Mac. It's just that the Mac version of OBS, it won't let you add video and audio under one source. You have to do it separately. Benny, Verse View is a software for playing lyrics and Bible verses. If anyone needs lower thirds verse, it might help. Awesome. Thank you for that. Exactly. Let's see. I think we're kind of at the limit. We're at noon. I think what else we have going on. Let me take a quick second to give a big shout out. And RK Marker. I think it's Marker. Benchmarker. He just subscribed and became a Patreon supporter. So again, I want to thank you. I want to thank all my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. If you like what we do here, folks, we don't take sponsorships. We haven't been offered any, but this channel is supported by my company and then great people like this. So if you like what we do, you think it's helped you or any other ministries, and you want to see this be continued, because this doesn't last forever if the bills can't be paid. But if you like what we do, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO or clicking the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And we've had all these great, wonderful people that have been supporting me for quite a while. And I can't do it without y'all. So thank y'all so much. And that money does not go back to pay any of the bills or anything around here. I just go slaving, crawling up under floors and in attics and hanging stuff. That's what pays the bills, and we got to work on some more of that. But that's what we do. We focus on trying to help, and I'm just be honest. Now, I haven't M16 V3 hasn't jumped on here, so I haven't been on my soapbox in a minute. So let me just say this: I have been, and I'm being transparent with y'all. This is been very difficult to do the stuff that we do. Again, I do this. For some of y'all didn't know my story. God told me to leave everything and start doing this. I had a lot of people that didn't agree with what I did, and just thankful that it's been able to be where we're at now. Years later, now people see the benefit of this. But honestly, this is difficult. I must say, I'm not going to be one of these people that says like, "Hey, would y'all send me?" No, I'm not doing that. But just saying, I'm saying this for any content creator. Monty is probably the same way. Anybody else that's on here, I would highly recommend to support your content creators, folks. Because again, some people, like I do this full time outside of my company, but it gets hard to be sometimes. And I just think from this gives me more respect for ministries, especially full-time ministers, full-time pastors and stuff like that, because you're really considering, I don't get paid every 2 weeks, and I don't want this to be a money thing. So it's not even about that. It's like my whole thing is knowing that what I'm doing is actually helping. That's really what it is. Because there are times when you do stuff like this that, like, I've had people just I kind of ignore the comments a lot of times, because a lot of people just have a whole lot of opinions, and this is the nastiest you're going to hear me say anything. I got people that got 1 to 2 to 3 subscribers sending comments talking about, well, this is an unprofessional video. I'm just like, okay, I'm not trying to show off subscriber counts or nothing. I'm not perfect. But if you're telling me my stuff is not professional and your channel has ne'er a video on it, If I'm doing so bad, instead of just critiquing me, give me an example. Upload something more professional so I can learn from you. If you're just critiquing and you don't give me a path to fix what I'm doing, sit down and shut up. That's my whole thing. We've already talked about it. I say this from a media ministry standpoint. I've had Reverend Lightfoot is here. She's from Antioch. She knows the same thing. I have no issue with people giving me stuff because I don't know everything. I want to learn. But if you're just complaining, if you got people in your church that are just complaining, oh, the audio isn't this. This is what I say to a lot of people in music ministry and stuff. Oh, you don't like what we're doing in the media? You think you can do better? Awesome. Please, I'd love to see you in the media booth next Sunday so you can help teach us all the stuff that you know. Every time I have done that, those people that know everything never show up. So we talked about it a long time. Before you critique, volunteer. If you're not going to volunteer, keep your critiques to yourself. Yay. The votes are just to make sure that you get to the live stream. That's all. Be Quiet Media. Hello, hello. Yeah, I actually was starting a behind the scenes at Antioch when I was there helping them, and then just stuff started falling apart. So I just didn't have an issue being able to record and talk through because I'm running around in church. If I'm at Antioch this Sunday, I may try and do that. I don't know. T-Pocket, how do I turn a link into a barcode for a church live stream? A link into a barcode. I mean, you just take the link, find a barcode font, and it will turn it into it. That's what I did when I used to work at Aetna. And I used to have to turn codes into barcodes and things like that. Carl Clark, how do you turn down the focus on the AVCam's camera? Focus always keeps going in and out. You need to go into the camera, log into it, either through the menu or through, if it's connected to a web page, go into it. It's under image, turn down the sensitivity of focus. That would be the easiest way. And right when I said that, he joined in. Richard, you're welcome. MA16V3, I was just talking about you. Hey, you are welcome. Hey, I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, so I think I was telling y'all that's what we have going on next week. We're going to be doing a digital wall at TCF. We have 2 on-sites at in Petersburg and another one in Victoria, Virginia. Didn't even know what that was originally. We got a bunch of other small projects that are going on as well too. I thought I had my shopping cart still available to show all the stuff that we have going at Elgin. I'm still waiting to hear back from that. Oxford. I put that out. I'm gonna be down in Oxford. Really need some help with that one because we got to hang 2 85-inch screen TVs. They're not heavy. It's just awkward for one person to do it. I could do it if I need to. Don't want to. But if any of y'all were in the area, we had the volunteer link on the website. Haven't really been talking about that much because we just been so busy, folks. But if you ever wanted to work with me and stuff like that, you can go to AJaytheCEO.com/volunteer, put your information in here, and when you're in the area, I will let you know when we have projects and love to have you out here. Learn from behind the scenes, see what we're doing, feature on my videos and stuff like that. Know that if you volunteer with me, I'm not going to put you in any compromising situations because my insurance covers me, not anybody else. I'm not going to have you in attics or nothing like that. If you want to go in a crawl space, do it at your own discretion. I think like when I was up there with Creator for Fun, she actually was crawling inside the wall. She decided to do that. But, I'd love to have you there. So hopefully I can pass off my skills in some way, shape, or form. I do these videos to try and share with y'all what I do know. And if anybody comes on site, I want to just kind of hand this stuff off because, again, I don't plan on doing this until I'm 95 years old. Again, succession planner, looking to passing on this information because how do you grow? You grow by how many people are coming behind you, how many other people know and share your stuff. I don't believe in addition. I want to do multiplication. That's what this is. A lot of y'all have learned from me and a bunch of other people. So, again, I'm glad that y'all are taking that knowledge and sharing it. And hopefully you're sharing it with other ministries. so we can all do some most stuff as well too. Thank you, Reverend Lightfoot. And we're going to be closing it off here pretty soon. Alex, I think most, if not all of those who only criticize fail to understand that what you're doing is, for us, is volunteer. As for me, I've learned quite a bit since 2020. No regrets whatsoever. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Nick, I'm sorry I keep going back to the PTZ camera, but I'm looking for the best quality. Which one would you do? Honestly, if I had to go between the two, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up, to be quite honest with you. I did a comparison video with a Famaco, a AV cans, and an SMT AV, and very few people could tell the difference between them. But if you had to pick between those two, I would go with AV cans, and I'm getting ready to sneeze. Hold on. Woo, excuse me. Rob, you said, where is Victoria, Virginia? Well, let me show you, because it kind of caught me off guard as well, too. So where we's going is here. I believe it's Mount Bethel Church. That's where the address is. But if we had to zoom on up out of here. So I'm here, and that thing is right over there. So we're going past Farmville. Hometown was Lynchburg. So we're in between, almost going to South Boston. So it's out there in the cut near Kenbridge. And it's so funny. As much as I drive, I'm finding so many different cities I never even heard about. And I'm in Virginia my entire life. And I'm like, ooh, excuse me. And that's interesting. Oxford. Yep. Cut over to the other one. Oxford that's in North Carolina. So that's there. And I don't like that layer. There we go. So we out there in the cut. Yeah, that's where it is. So it's about a 2.5 hour drive, and we're doing some stuff down there. But then the other church is going to be in Washington, North Carolina. And that's a little bit further down from there. So near Greenville. So we use a minute from down there. And then for the other ones that wanted to know, Elgin, we's out there. So that's all the way there near Schaumburg. So we travel, folks. So we've been all over the place. Where's my history at? I wanted to show all the places. I've been trying to find a plug-in so I can show a map of all the places, and wanted to have a place where we can register. It's like, hey, if your e-missionary wanted to register you so we can see where we're at. We want to have some church that we're associated as an e-missionary in every state, and then ultimately expand out. I know we got Mike in Canada. We got some other folks in Kenya. We got some folks in Paris, France, and actually has somebody in Denmark and Lithuania, which I think is kind of awesome, to be quite honest. It is actually First Baptist Church of Oxford. And then Washington, I'm still waiting to hear back. They haven't decided yet. But I know Oxford said they mailed a deposit. I haven't received it yet. But once we do that, that's when we're going to start ordering stuff. Once the money is in hand, that's when it gets put on the books. Yeah, I greatly appreciate that one for their Elder Rob. So I think that's about it, folks. So if no one's ever told you, thank you for what you're doing, folks. I want to make it more important, and I've had to say this to a couple other people recently. Please, if you're in leadership and media ministry, reach out to your people. Don't call them to ask them, or if you're a pastor, don't call them to ask them about their gifts and talents. Ask them about how they're doing. That's why I never did the podcast, need to do it, talking about that we're more than just tools. I want you to know that, yes, some of y'all are great in programming, all this other stuff. That's awesome. But I'm more concerned about y'all And I think that we need to know that more importantly, because a lot of people, at least I felt that way. A lot of more people are concerned about what I can do than me. And I've had to talk to a couple of people about that, that I haven't heard from them in on an amount of time. I get called when something breaks, but no one's called to see if I'm broken. And that's why we need to make sure a good sign of a leader is not just training people, but showing empathy and sympathy to people and showing the people that they really care. And that's the reason why I do this, that I care about y'all. I appreciate all the stuff you're doing. Yeah, I'm not a part of your ministry, but you gave me something that you can never get back, which is time. And I appreciate that. So I want to make it as valuable as possible. I appreciate y'all for sharing time with me sharing time with y'all. And just know that if you weren't where you're at, if you weren't doing what you were doing, something would be missing. Whether anybody is telling you that they appreciate you or not, I'm telling you, I appreciate you. Because if you weren't doing what you were doing, whatever ministry that you're at, and the people that you don't know that are watching you are not going to be influenced by you. Because what you're doing is helping to benefit a whole lot of people. And we need a lot more people living a sermon instead of just preaching one. Because anybody can preach, anybody can talk and take scripture out of context and say whatever they want to. Living one is something different. That's what I think we need. And again, I appreciate y'all. I hope something that I've done has helped y'all. I hope you makes y'all feel a little bit better. Honestly, getting on here and helping y'all makes me feel a little bit better because I really didn't even want to get on here today. But again, I'm here to help, and my whole hope is something I've done or said makes you feel better, makes you feel more encouraged, makes your path a little bit easier. Because I know how it is to do all this other stuff, and people are hiding stuff behind pay gates and not trying to tell you the truth about stuff and trying to get you to buy something. Uncandidly, I give you everything that I got, the best that I can. Just hoping that whatever I planted somewhere else, it'll come back in some way, shape, or form. But again, I hope what I reach the world, it's not my responsibility to reach the world. It's not yours. It's ours together. So instead of me competing with you, I want to compliment you, and hopefully I've given you something to make the next coming days and your next services, next time you're purchasing something with your cameras, your network, whatever, go a little bit smoother. So I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, folks. And we'll be talking to y'all on the next video. Folks, later.